So, Eric, Olivier, thank you very much for coming down and actually taking some time out of what is going to be a completely jam-packed and busy schedule for you guys this weekend to have a chat about the 1-year anniversary of Brauwerk Hoffman. Honestly, it feels just like yesterday that we were stood here together about a week prior to the launch of Brauwerk Hoffman as well. So one thing I have to ask, a little bit of an obvious question, and we'll start with you, Olivier. Like, how has the first year been? Because from an outside perspective, it feels pretty successful.
So we're actually very, very excited about our first year anniversary. And for sure, the last year was quite the adventure, I guess I should say. We've from lockdown to being open with restrictions and then back into lockdown. As far as a business perspective, it's been quite a challenge, but we're happy to put this behind us at this point and just move forward.
And for you, Eric, I think it's safe to say that Olivier is drowned in the administrative stuff and the paperwork, and although I know you have some responsibilities like that as well, most of the time we can find you elbow deep in the vats, making sure everything's going well on the brewing process. Can you give us a little overview of what the last 12 months have been like and how it's been for you as, I know I called you it last time and you hated it, but as the master brewer?
It's been a challenge on our end as well, just trying to forecast how the market's going to go. Are we fully open? Are we, partially open? But to be honest, the community has been great with us, and for a sign that we've been really busy, we added 4,000 liters worth of capacity in our fermentation vessels. So just that alone within our first 6 months of operation just shows you how much people have enjoyed our products and coming back to get them. So I am elbow deep, pretty busy on this side for sure.
And we spoke last year, the Germanic influence on this style of business, it was to a certain extent a bit of a risk. It's not someone that everyone sees every day. First of all, with you, Eric, how have you found being able to tailor the brewing? How much you found in terms of inspiration and innovation and all these opportunities you may get here at this particular brewery? I know it's your own mindset anyway, but rather than just rolling out your classic West Coast and your classic East Coast all the time.
Since the beginning, it's always been about trying to give something different in the local craft beer market. The German thing was always kind of a soft spot in my heart for me, and I always wanted to push it. Deep down, I always, knew it would be successful. I don't want to sound arrogant, but I feel like it would be, and I knew the people would come out for it. And even the people who didn't know it, I think they were curious enough to come try it, and now they've discovered it. And it pairs well with food. I just took a page out of history, right? Beer's always been part of the German culture. It's been around for 500 or more years, right? So it's kind of an easy thing. I'm not some kind of savant and kind of figured it out. I just repeated the playbook, basically. But yeah, it's been great, for sure.
And Olivier, on the business side, as I said, it was maybe, as Eric said, it was one of these, it's old, it's a tale as old as time, German beer purification laws over there, it's kind of quintessential. German and beer goes hand in hand, but from a business side, how have you found it? How have you found the reception amongst the community?
Well, I think from day one, we've had very, very strong support from the community itself. We are very grateful for the community and surrounding areas. From the Brew and Chew tour that we had this summer that kind of involved people from all over, Prescott and Russell, and even outside the province. We had people coming in from Windsor. We had people from Montreal that were coming in specifically for this tour where they would tour our brewery with other breweries in the area. Community-wise, the support's been very, very strong. As far as the business aspect of operating in this kind of setting as well, I shout out to our staff, the staff that we have, and they're the original staff that we've hired from day one. They've been very supportive as well and being available for us with flexible schedule and throughout these uncertain times that we've experienced.
And speaking of, you mentioned recipe for success, but recipe in general, I was asking about some of the lessons you've learned here on the business side, but from the brewing side as well. The menu, there are some staples in terms of your beers that have stayed since you opened 12 months ago as well. So talk to us a little bit about what you've learned on the brewing process as well, and some of your favorite items on offer here.
It's been fun too. I have this big recipe book in my head that I'd love to come out and just throw out new beers every week, but from a business standpoint, it's not always the best decision. I don't know if Oliver would be happy with me if I did that. But at the same time, it's been great because even I've come out with seasonal products that have to kind of stick around because the people ask me to. And, we're here to serve the people, right? So at the same time, I kind of have to listen to them and not just try to do new beers all the time. So it's been fun. You're juggling that aspect along with this one. Like there's this wall here, but the mirror is kind of like the best image because you are juggling both sides all the time. And I just can't wait to put out some new products for everybody to come out and try.
And tonight is a great opportunity for a ton of people to be able to try. It's the first of 3 nights for the 1-year anniversary celebration. We'll start with you, Olivier. In terms of tonight, as well as the couple of nights following, what kind of events are you putting on for people? I hear that Friday night there is an artist special to your own heart.
Right. So for our first year anniversary, we're trying to have artists, local people coming in to entertain our guests while they enjoy the beer and the food in the beer hall, obviously. So Friday tomorrow is André Varin, he's actually from the Gatineau area, French artist and guitarist, and he's great. He's a great artist. So he's going to be in tomorrow, and then we have another artist coming on Saturday, which Eric could speak to. He's more familiar with
a childhood friend too. So Andrew Jones, he's coming in and playing with a bunch of his friends as well. So his family band oriented. They'll play some French, English music all over. As Oliver kind of alluded to, we're 2 francophones running a German business. It just sounds like a mutt story, but obviously we're passionate about the German side of our product and stuff, but we haven't forgot our roots as well. So getting back to that, and even like tonight, we didn't mention it foremost, but we have some local comedians coming to play and whatnot. So it's been great with them too, and they pull out a big crowd for us here tonight. So.
Yeah, I think we're going to get the chance to speak to one of them a little bit later. So if listeners are tuning in, want to go find that interview, it will just be in French, but some great local artists across the board. You mentioned there, obviously, they're local, they're talented, but there is a real core of francophone in there. As you said, it's very important to you. So just throw the question your way, Oliver. How important is it to you to be able to provide a space and a platform for artists that are local, but also artists that strive in a predominantly English country to be able to persevere in their own language as well, and that being obviously the second official language of this country, which is French?
Mm-hmm. It's very important to myself personally and to our business. We've always put a great emphasis on the French language, especially in the area, and we've continued on to supporting people that are French and are very talented, and especially from the area as well, that we try to incorporate as much as we can. I think that's.
The next one where I wanted to take it now is back to a little bit more of the business side of things. You've got a wonderfully jazzy and up-to-date website. It's comprehensive. There is a bunch of detail about all the food and all the drinks that you have on offer here as well. I'll start with you, Eric. How important was that to have that online presence, especially during the last 12 months, as Oliver mentioned earlier about sort of the constant lockdowns and back, forth? How important was that to have that online and social media presence?
It was huge for us. We won't try to hide that at all. It's one of the only means of communicating we had with our public, and we didn't have an established fan base, put it that way, right away. So for us, we're establishing ourselves. So the online presence was one of the most important aspects, where we spent countless hours trying to put stuff together, and that's where this basically was our bulletin board to announce to people every event or new releases of product. And with the curbside pickup and that kind of stuff, with our retail store being able to stay open, but at least we were able to advise people when to come pick up stuff, establish communication. Like any relationship, communicating is pretty important.
Absolutely. I mean, there must be some ladies at home very happy to hear you guys say that as well. And one of the things I wanted to touch on there, you mentioned, Oliver, about the staff that you have here. They've been with you guys since the beginning. In a time where so many industries, especially the service industry, are really struggling to find staff, how key has it been for you to be able to keep and retain such an effective and good staff base here locally?
It's, I'd say it's the foundation of our business. These people are the people that are greeting our customers when they come in, and they've been doing so with a smile and with great customer service, and we're very happy to have them. As far as the pandemic itself, throughout we've had some uncertainties where we had to reduce some hours, unfortunately, just because of restrictions and not being able to have people indoors. So some of them were affected greatly by their weekly number of hours having been reduced to based on our opening hours. So even though they stuck throughout, and they're still employed today, and they really make our business strive, which we're really appreciative for.
Absolutely. As you say, like, the foundation is there. It's consistency that is so key. Well, chaps, massive congratulations on 1 year. Here's to many more, I do hope, as well. And the final thing I just want to sort of leave with a parting comment. What is coming with Brauwerk Hoffman next 12, 24, 36 months? What's the goal? What's the dream here, boys?
I'm hoping for more events, including more of the community, just growing with the community, and with things slowly getting behind us now, just working with the community, getting involved more, events, charities, everything, right? That's what we wanted to do from day one. So we're just
you see it onwards and upwards, Oliver?
Lots of projects in the works for sure, but we're just hoping that we'll be able to continue having the same support that we've been having so far, and that the product will continue thriving because the community enjoys it.
So obviously it's been a crazy year with a bunch of lessons that must have been learned as well. For yourself, Oliver, on a business side of things as well, what are some of the lessons that you've drawn from the last 12 months?
It certainly has. So as far as a business perspective or aspect, it's been quite challenging, our inability to see what might be coming in the future. A great amount of uncertainty and lockdowns or spike in cases, and then obviously we would be forced to close down, and that's been impacting our staffing, our opening hours, our revenue, and our ability to have people indoors. Also, something that we've encountered is the significant prices increase that we're already seeing as far as the restaurant side of things, and also the beer production as well. The material required for brewing is increasing in price because of the inflation and what we've been going through over the last few months and the last 2 years. And also, I guess Eric can maybe speak to that a bit, but we've also experienced some shortage in having issues obtaining some of the ingredients needed for brewing, so that's been concerning as well.
And when you talk there about exactly that, the lack of available things for the brewing and the prices increase as well. As business owners here who have only had it during a pandemic as well, it almost feels like you step up to bat for the first time and you've got everything holding you back already. Does that give you some kind of hope as well for the future to come? Know that this wading through the pandemic mud is probably as hard as it's going to get.
Yeah, so, and it's funny, we've actually had this conversation with our shareholders, which are experienced businessmen, and the fact that we've made it through this last year and few months, I think we are pretty solid now, and we're ready to take on any challenges that might be coming our way in the future.
And Eric, just finally, if there's another group of businessmen, whether they be friends or they be individuals, who are looking at the business landscape at the moment and might be hesitating to step up as entrepreneurs like you guys so boldly did 12 months ago, what would you say to them?
Be passionate, follow your passion, make sure you team up with a team that's resilient, and we shouldn't move forward and see the same events that just happened. So just be ready and go for it. Like, don't look back.
Fantastic. Thank you once again. Best of luck for your opening anniversary evening tonight, and as well, of course, for the rest of the events you got on this weekend. Cheers, guys.
Thank you. Cheers.